All right, so let's get back to the meeting here. Boom, boom, boom. All right, we are live streaming, guys, and we are going to start this webinar. This webinar is going to be Cloud CMA, and also include tips for doing your CMA. So, uh, Cloud CMA is you can get it for free if you have MLS PIN, Cape and Islands MLS, or Beaches MLS, and you can go on to there and get in. The other way to do it is if you have the agent bundle and you have a website with LAER, that is the other way to get in too. So, all right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. Let's go here and share, and we're going to take a look, and we're going to go to my website, and I'll show you how to uh, log in. Len Lochrie dot LaERRealty.com. So anybody who has the website can do it this way. It's very easy. Let's put this up here. Once you get to your website, there's a place where it says log in. Click here, and hopefully you have logged into your website. If not, feel free to go in and put your LAER email in and say forgot password, and you get a password reset. And then if that doesn't work, feel free to email us at happyagent@laerrealty.com. So once you have logged in, when you log into your website, it's going to take you right away. It's going to take you to this dashboard here. And then if you come over here and you look up here at the left, I'm sorry, the right, you will see these four boxes, and you click here, and it's got, these are just quick actions, right? And SSO stands for single sign on. So all you have to do is click on Cloud CMA, and it's going to log you in. If you have never been here before, there are a few things that you'll need to do ahead of time to get everything set up. So if this is your first time logging in, you won't have any other CMAs here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you what you need to do the first time you log in. We're going to go here and let's go to account settings. And when you're in account settings, there are a few things that you do need to do. The first thing is your profile. You're going to want to upload your photo. You can change your avatar. They call it an avatar, but I would recommend using your photo because that photo is going to be on every page of your CMA. Use your full name, email, right? And then here it says company name. So depends which office you're in. You have a couple of choices. You can do LAER Realty, or you can do LAER Realty Partners. If you are in Florida, you can go do LAER Realty Bowen. Those are the three choices as far as getting this program to line up with the branding. So this is actually a very important point is to make sure your company name is correct. And that way it will line up with the branding for LAER. And then company logo, we have this on the Agently website. You guys can click and download the logo. Then you want to put in whatever city and state that you are in. And we're going to click on Save Profile. So the next thing is you can add your contact information here. I put my mobile phone number in, my email in. I could put other things in. I can put in a fax number, an office address, whatever I want to put in. The third thing that's important is going to be the MLS credentials. I'm licensed in two different states. I belong to two different MLSs. If you belong to, say, MLS PIN and Cape and Islands MLS, you're probably going to have to come in every time and double check and make sure you're lined up with and connected with the MLS that you want to be using. So if I was going to do a CMA in New Hampshire that would be listed in the Prime MLS system, then I would leave this as it is. The CMA we're going to do today is going to be in Massachusetts, so I'm going to select the state. Then I'm going to select my MLS. I could say Cape and Cod, or I can say MLS information, which is MLS PIN, right? But just remember, it's like, you could do, say, if you're in Florida, hang on, where is Florida? I know my alphabet. There we go. And most everybody is in Beaches MLS, but if you're in any of the other ones, you just need to switch it around. So let's just go back here to Massachusetts, property information. Next, it's going to ask you to put in your actual MLS ID, how you sign in with your multiple listing service. In New Hampshire, we sign in with a combination of our first three letters and 4 digits, right? And that's like our username, but that's not our MLS ID name. So just be aware that you need to put in your MLS user ID. All right, so once that is done, we can say update credentials. Why did I not choose that? There we go. There we are, MLS credentials updated. All right, so let's go back to the front page for CMAs. And if you've been using it on a regular basis, you're going to see that you have lots of different, all of your past CMAs that are here. So, and anything that you've already done before, you can click and you can edit. You can go back in and make changes to your CMA. You can do whatever you want with it. So today, we're going to start a brand new one, and I'm going to walk you through a few different things that are interesting, kind of neat on how to do it. So if you really are doing a CMA, a couple of things I want to recommend is first, what you should do is you should go to your multiple listing service, right? And what you want to do is you want to do research, and you want to find, oh, hang on, boom. And you want to find what properties you're going to use for comparables, okay? And generally, for any CMA, you want to use 3, 4, or 5 sold properties, properties that are as similar as possible to your subject property. And then for pendings, if you are in a market that has any pending listings, if it's possible, you should want to use 3 or 4 pending um, uh, properties. And then the third part are actives, and you'll want to use 3 or 4 actives. You don't want to use 8 or 9 or 10 of any of those groups. But so the important thing is you have sold properties, and this is so that you can show the seller, here's what is selling, here's the prices they're selling for, right? You also want to show them pending properties under agreements, because you want to show them this is what is working, this is what's selling, this is current, what's going under agreement. And then you want to show them actives, because you want them to know who their competition is. And if you have several actives that are in this price range and they're just sitting, that's a good clue to give the seller that he needs to be here instead. Um, so I would recommend that you go into your multiple listing service and you pull out the listings that you think you would want to use. All of your MLSs allow you to pull the specific ones, select them. They also allow you to download the multiple listing ID number, which is really very useful. So here's what we're going to do is I'm going to do here and here and here. I'm going to go back for 6 months on this. For the price range, I'm going to do, let's do 700. 1, 2, 3, boom, to 900, boom. And let's see, oh, and I need to choose a town. I'm going to choose Westford. There we go. That's going to pull up 24 properties. So let's take a look at these properties and see if these are properties we want to put into our CMA. So now before I go too far, let me just make sure. Let's see if anybody has any questions so far. Hang on. Boom, boom, boom. There's this. Hang on, guys. Oh, there it is. Oh, good. We have people watching. Yay. So, yes. Hi, Christine. Yes, it is free for you. Lindsay in Wellington is free for you. Roger in Connecticut, if you have the agent bundle, it is free for you too. So, and then let's see if we have anybody have any questions. Boom, 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 boom. Nope. Okay. And then let's see if it's over here. Hang on 1 second, guys. We are. All right, no questions yet. That's good. All right, so back to the CMA. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do a CMA on a property, and we'll see what happens with this. Um, so I'm choosing pricing between, I think I said 700 and 900. So we have quite a few, 3 actives, no pendings, but a bunch of solds. Well, that's kind of the market that Westford is then, I guess. Nothing pending in that price range. So let's go back up to, let's just go all the way down here. Hang on. Oh yeah, quite a few sold. All right. Let's go back up here. Sorry for scrolling so much. So what we're going to do is we're going to do our CMA. And if you are in MLS PIN, you can pick and choose your properties you want to use, and then click the CMA button, the Cloud CMA, and it's going to open up your Cloud CMA, and it's going to automatically load your properties in. All you have to do is do some basic things, but we're going to do it slightly different. So I'm going to choose 16 Main Street, 41 Plain. Let's see here, Kestrel Lane. Let's see here. What is the price on that? $8.99. We'll throw that one in. And then just for good luck, we'll throw in number 22, Old Low Road. And for solds, let's see here. Looking for, say, how about Tallard Road would be a good one. Let's see, and that sold for $720. Okay. West. Let's see here. I bet you that's 26 Acton would be a good one to throw in. Let me see. Coolidge would be good. Let's see here. Just scrolling down. And oh, Chamberlain, that's a pretty big one, but and then Pine Street. Pine Street. Yep, Pine Street sold for $835. We'll throw it in there. Okay. So I'm just going to use those ones for my CMA. Don't really know how much they really do apply for the property that we're going to do. But now that I've chosen those, this is true with any of your MLSs. Once you've chosen them, right? You have different ways of like saying keep, right? And now it's just chosen those ones only. And that's 9 listings. We're going to select all 9. You have a way of downloading everything. And now I'm just going to say download and open up a CSV file. So here are the properties I chose. Now here's the important thing. I'm going to take these numbers right here, right? Control C. I'm going to copy them and I'm going to go back to my CMA. And now I'm going to create a new CMA. This one, let's see, hang on, let's go back a second, hang on. 33, so we're gonna call this one Tom's, oh, there we go, hang on. What's going on here, guys? There we go. I used a fake name of Tom Sillerman, and this is gonna be CMA number 34. And you can put extra notes in here, right? Test CMA. And when you create a CMA, every time you're going to need to, give it a name. I usually use the seller's name. Now we're going to type in, notes, whatever. The notes do not go in the report, but now we're going to type in the address. And this part's pretty important. So we're going to do 36 Plain Road, right? and it's going to pick up on Westford. And I'm going to click here, and it's interesting. It did not pick up quite often. It will fill in the number of bedrooms. Let's say it has 4 bedrooms and 2.5 baths. And let's say it's got 2,350 square feet. And let's just do some advanced info. Let's see, the lot size is probably 40,000 square feet. And the year built would probably be 1965, 75, 1975. Garage has got a 2, and we don't know what the taxes are, but it's a Gambrel. There we go. And now here, so if I picked a different property, it probably would, in the past, it has filled in all this information, but you still want to put this information in. Because if you, Cloud CMA is going to use it. So once you've started the CMA, to get the listings that you want to use in your CMA, you have a couple of ways of doing this. One is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste the MLS ID numbers in here. If I had used MLS PIN, and I had clicked here on the CMA, well, it's going to open it up and use those properties. And open a new one. I could have started a new one this way, right? Let's go back to this one. And if you look down here, it's got all the MLS ID numbers automatically added in. So, all right, so we're going to go back here. I'm going to Control V and paste those numbers in. There we go. The other way I could have done it is I could have left this part blank, right? And I could have left this blank. I could have let Cloud CMA find the comps for me. So we're going to click Fetch the Listings, and now it's going to go through and it's going to put together the listings that I chose. And now remember, these are the ones that that I clicked on, the MLS ID numbers that I put in. So once you get to this point, you have a couple of things that you need to do. One is you can look and you can see that we have 4 active, 1 pending, 4 sold. Oh, I didn't know I had a pending in there. That's great. All right, and then over here, it's also going to tell you what the low, the median price, the average price, and the high price is going to be, right? So median price is 833. The average price is 816. So it's pretty good. They're pretty close to each other. That gives you kind of a guideline of probably where you should be. So now we can take a look and we can see what properties we had chosen, right? And it's going to have the closed at the top and the actives below. So we have 4 that we chose to be solds, right? And we can look at these and you can go through if you choose more than enough, or if you allow Cloud CMA to choose your listings, you can click and say, hey, let's take a look at this. And you can actually see the properties here, see the photos, right? Read the descriptions, know that this one sold in July. And it was up here, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. I think that's what that means. Built in 1978, 2,256 square feet. Boy, this one is right on the money for my subject property, huh? And so we can see it's got a 2-car garage. It looks pretty good. And the only thing is this one has 3 bedrooms instead of 4. But you know what? We're going to go ahead and keep it and save it and use it. If I decided I didn't want to use that property, I can uncheck it and it would make the adjustment that way. Now, the other cool thing is, let's take a look at Coolidge here, right? Let's take a look at Coolidge. We're going to click here. And this is going to say that it's only a 3-bedroom, right? Over here, 3 bedrooms, bath and a half. So in this program, you can actually make adjustments to properties. Now, you're not making adjustments as an appraiser because you're not appraising the property. You're making adjustments to the marketing value, right? And so you're going to say, this one only had a bath and a half, right? And let's say our primary property had 2.5 baths, right? So you can say, we're going to make a marketing adjustment for the bathroom. and 2.5 bathrooms. What would that be worth? You know, is that worth for marketing? Is that worth another $10,000? Right? I don't know. But oops, hang on. What's going on here? There we go. Now, the other thing is when you're making these marketing adjustments, you're going to have, you always start with your primary property here, right? And now, so, and in this example, on this example for Coolidge Street here, right? Um, our primary property is here. Coolidge Street is a lesser property because it only has a bath and a half and not 2.5. So what we want to do is we want to even the properties out. So what we would do is we would bring Coolidge up. So we would make the adjustment up so the Coolidge would be comparing with the same features as our primary property, right? And so in this case, we're going to say, hey, we're going to say if this property had 2.5 baths instead of 1.5, we think it would sell for another $10,000. Now, there's no specific number to put in here, but you need to kind of have a feel for your market and your market area. So what we're going to do is we're going to save that. So what we're doing is we're making an adjustment. And so like originally, Coolidge sold for $760. We're going to make an adjustment and say if it had that extra bathroom, probably was sold for $770. You know, and this is just for, you know, just for this webinar and everything. Who knows what the real value would be? But it is one way because you're always trying to compare apples with apples, even though, you know, no market ever has apples and apples. So you can make other adjustments too. So like this 22 old Lowell Road, it's going to be part of your competition. So we're going to, oh, that's just active. So let's go back to closed. You could make other adjustments. If you had a property like it had 3.5 bathrooms instead of 2.5. On Coolidge, we added a value. But if Coolidge was better than your primary, you would subtract the value to bring it down even. So so that's how you make those adjustments. Now, one other thing is here is got a page where it's going to say your recommended price range, right? If so, what you need to do is try and figure out where do you think this pricing should be. You know, if you're looking at 833 and 817, so maybe, you know, maybe a good price for listing this property might be 829 900, right? Or you could give the seller a range of say 829 to 809 900, right? What's going to happen is there's two things that's going to happen is once you put a number in here, it will generate a net sheet that you can use if you like using a net sheet when you're talking with the sellers. Also, it's going to create a page that's going to be for recommended price range, right? And then you can decide whether you're going to use that page or not. But once you put a number in here, it generates those pages that you can use later. So if you leave this blank, those pages will not be generated. So basically, it's now that I've put a number in, it's only going to read the 829.9 actually. It's not going to look at the 809. And so if you look here, it's going to show you low, high, average for those that are you know, active and those that have sold. And just helps gives you a guideline. And then if you decide to do a net sheet, this makes it pretty easy. Say you can put in like say recording fees, right? And let's say recording fees are $500. You add that, and so you can put in say your marketing fee, right? And you can put in, you know, whatever your marketing fee is going to be. And what it's doing is generating a net sheet. So it tells the seller what their net's going to be. So, all right. So now that we've done this, uh, let's just review real quick is we already picked which properties we're going to use and it put it in here. From this point, you can make adjustments to the marketing value, right? And if you put in a value here, it will, the CMA in the end will generate a net sheet and a price range sheet that you can decide whether or not you use or not. If you leave this blank, it won't do either sheet. So once you've gotten to this point and you're ready, you want to click on Customize Report. And now it's going to generate the CMA. Now, what it's going to do is this is going to be lining up for your output is going to be a PDF. So all these pages and in this order are the order of the pages for the PDF. So if you take a look here, over here on the left, you should see only one set of folders. And if you do, then you know that you've set the branding up correctly. If this is your first time using Cloud CMA, you'll see additional folders here. You'll see a folder where it will say, I believe it says Tom Ferry Marketing, and you can actually purchase different pages to put into your CMA. So if you see that, you know that you don't have the LAER branding lined up quite right. So the other thing is you need to take a look at is you want to make sure the theme here says LAER Realty Partners. So let me just make some changes here. I'm going to pretend like this is the first time in, right? And I'm going to apply this. So we don't have the branding lined up, right? And so when you see this, you look here, here's your standard pages, and here are your power pack pages that you can purchase, right? So you know it's not lined up right. And the theme here says modern red and black or blue and gold or whatever it says, right? So you want to click here. Now, if you put in your company name properly, right? Then when you click here to choose a theme, you want to scroll all the way up to the top, and the second section is branded. And if you only see LAER Realty Partners there, right, you know you have it correct. If you click here and you see your choices are like Remax, Coldwell Banker, Century 21, then you know you don't have your branding lined up. So we're going to go ahead and choose that theme. And I am going to close my office door. 1 second, guys. I work in a noisy building. So, anyways, now we are back to the LAER Realty Partners theme. And we can see that it's got About LAER, the LAER mission, LAER Cares, Best Places to Work, LAER Marketing, and everything else. Now, what I want, the next thing I want to show you is you have a choice of layouts. I have chosen to 2 photos and all the information. And every listing that's in my CMA is going to have the 2 photos at the top and then all the information below it. You have other choices. You could do a photo and a map and then the information, or you can do 1 photo and the maximum amount of information, or you could do it in columns in 2, 3, or 4 per page. I like the 2 photos at the top. And then next thing is default template. Now, I just reset to LAER Realty Partners and everything, so I went to the default pet template, but you can create your own template. So once you have decided what order to put everything in, you can save that as your template. So like the default template right now, right? It shows the title page is way down here, right? Any page that's in here, you can click on this and you can drag them around and reorder them, put them in a different order. The other thing is any page here that you decide maybe you don't want to use, you can click on the red circle and it goes back um, into the folder here. Um, and if you want to say, well, I forgot what this page looks like, you can click the little eyeball and it'll open it up and you can see what this page looks like. And this one is it's a good one that shows where our offices are and our dollar volume. So it's very good. Um, so you can continue to go through, you can move things around. Um, and say you want to move this one up here. Oh, hang on. Move this one up here like that. You can do that. So you have a lot of things that you know, choose it, do whatever you want. Or you can, and then once you've saved it, you always have all these pages here that you can say, you know, so I'm going to do this template instead. And it's already got everything like maybe in the way that I want it to be lined up, which works, which is great. So the other thing is over here in the folders, you have other pages you can add. So like analysis pages, time to sell, you can add that. Average price per square foot, you can add that. Under guidance, you can say, hey, you know what? I like the CMA versus that. I think that's a good one. Under closing, I like the why you need a realtor, first impressions. I think these are all good pages. I'm going to put it in here. Um, and at the same time, it'll automatically put stuff where it needs to be. The last chapter is the testimonial chapter, and you can work this out, save it the way you want to save it. But it gives you choices if you're using testimonial tree or rated agent or real satisfied or Zillow for your testimonials. You can have a testimonial chapter, but then you want to remove anything that's not that you're not using. So, and I'm just going to remove them all. There we go. Once you've decided what ones you want and what order you want them in, you can save your template and call it whatever you want. And then once you've done that, you want to publish this report. So Cloud CMA has two different ways of outputting your CMA. You can do the traditional PDF where you can print it at your office on the color printer. If your admin's there, she'll be glad to bind it for you, no problem. Um, or you can print it yourself and bind it yourself, whatever works for you. Um, but the other way is a live view, which is good that you can take the CMA, you can download it to your tablet, and then when you meet with the seller, you can scroll through and show it to them. So first off, we're going to look at the PDF. This is the traditional way. And then let me just double check and see if we have any questions. Don't want to leave anybody behind. Dun, dun, dun. Hang on, guys. All right, looks like we're good. All right, I did not have a picture of the property, so it's going to take a satellite view of it, and it'll have the seller's name here because that's what I use for the title of the CMA. And then it's going to have all the pages we put in. Everything's going to be in the LAER colors. Um, Here's the cover letter. And then the bottom of every page is going to have your information. It's going to have your information, your phone number, your email, and it's going to have the LAER logo. And again, everything is in the LAER colors, which is awesome. So everything is branded that way. Then once you get past the front pages for the meat and potatoes of the CMA, it's going to show you the map of comparables. Um, so it's going to have your subject property, which is actually in this case behind the number 7. So 7 is, I guess, well, right across the street practically. So that's why. Anyway, so it's going to show you everything that's active is green, anything pending is yellow, and anything that has sold is red. And it's going to Very first page is going to show you the map, going to show you the properties, uh, and just a list of the properties here, right? And then it's going to have a summary. The summary is going to include averages, average price of the property, the average square foot, and the average price per square foot. Now, one of the things is because we made an adjustment, it's going to add the adjusted column to it too to show what the difference is. So making that $10,000 difference really overall for the average only increased it by about um, $2,500. So, oh yeah, mathematically that makes sense. Duh. Yep. So you'll have both figures here. Now you scroll down and we're going to look at the listings. Whoops, hang on. What happened to my listings? Ha, I made a mistake, guys. I'm going to have to go back. Hang on. Let's close that. The good thing is you can always go back. So let's just go back here to customize. It's going to reopen it. Even if you've already saved it, you can go back and you can always edit stuff. Let's go to listings here. We're going to add details and we're going to add photos, the first dozen photos, and that's going to be um, um, part of the CMA. So let's just go ahead and say publish this report. Now I'll show you what these listings look like in the report. So, there we go. Oh, still waiting. There we go. Now let's view the PDF. Here we are. Let's go scroll down past all these great pages. Boom, 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 boom. And here we go. It's a summary. And now here are the listings that we want to use. So remember, this is going to be in a PDF that you're going to print, and you can print it on the office printer in color. And if your admin's there, she'll be glad to bind it for you. If she's not there, he or she's not there, then all the binding stuff is in the office and you can do it yourself, no problem. So the listings are going to be the two photos in front, right? And then here's all the information about that property. And of course, every page is going to have your information, your photo, your name, the LAER logo. Uh, Here are the remarks. And then I chose the option of including the next 12 photos. So if a property has uh, at least 14 photos, it'll have 12 photos here. So one of the things I just want to mention, by the way, guys, is that quite often agents will put all the same photos as the first 6 photos as all the same. I want to recommend that you make sure that your first 6 photos of your listing in MLS is always different. You don't need 3 or 4 photos of the front for your listing. If most websites will show the first 6 photos on the screen, and um, even if you have 42 photos for your listing, it'll only show the first 6. So you want to capture the buyer's attention so that they start clicking through. Um, so this one was pretty good. So they have the front, they have the living room, and then you go in here, kitchen, dining room. So they did really well with and a bedroom. So they did really well with uh, their photos and everything. So this was the property is sold. This one, 2 photos in front. It can be helpful, but you know what? It may or may not capture the buyer's attention. But anyway, so for the CMA, this is what you're going to have to show to the seller. And you're going to show them like, these are what has sold, these are who your competition is, and everything else. So now, once we get past the listings, we're going to get to, why is that page out of order? All right, I don't know why that page is out of order, guys, but it can be fixed. But anyways, analysis part. This part's cool. This shows uh, so that you're able to show to the seller, here's what's sold, here's what the average is, here's what the average price per square foot is, here's the pending is at 304, here's what's active, here's who your competition are, right? Um, and then it's going to show you the averages. As you can see, prices in this area for the properties that we chose are selling for 98% of the asking price after 16 days. And then here it's going to show you the average original price, the average sale price, the average adjusted price, because we made an adjustment, percent of the uh, original list price, right, to um, the sell price, and the price per square foot. Here is the page that has the uh, marketing, the recommended price range. You want to, you're always trying to help guide the seller to price the home where it's going to sell, right? And so this page is helpful. It's a wide range, but I said, 829 to 809. I guarantee the seller will choose 829, right? Um, but by giving them a range, you're not boxing them in, but you're letting them choose where they want to be, but you're also guiding them in. Um, it's going to show you that it's like, anywhere from 353 to 344 square foot. And then here's the averages of the three sets. This is what the seller's net sheet's going to be. So you're going to say, hey, suggested price is 829.9 after recording fees, marketing fee, you walk home with 789 in your pocket. Um, and then this one is the time to sell. I like this page. Um, so uh, the blank circles are the original price, and the filled in circles are the sold price. So as you can see, it's like these that are active, they've all dropped their price. This pending one has been the same price the whole time. And then these solds, you can see that one dropped their price before they were sold, and another had, did I do that backwards? Yeah, this one had dropped its price before it sold, but this one sold for above its asking price. And then this is going to compare square footage with the sale price and the price and everything, which is a good thing. You want to walk through with the sellers, explain these numbers. You may get a seller who is really interested in these numbers, so you do need to explain them. Or you may run into a seller who's like, yeah, okay, whatever, and not get into the numbers. So always be prepared. And then a couple of cool extra pages here, curb appeal, first impressions, CMA versus appraisals. So that's the complete purchase and sale. And that is the PDF version. So now let's take a look at your other version. Is going to be the live version. This part is cool. And let me just double check and see if we have any questions so far. Everybody seems happy. Okay. So this is what you would want to load onto your tablet. Or it could be your computer screen when you're meeting with the sellers. And this is instead of printing everything out. So the um, default is the pages that we have right here. Now, all of these pages can be changed, and I'll show you in the end. I'll show you how to make those changes. But so about LAER, you click on it, and it's going to be the PDF, right? And it's going to have all this information. When you're doing it this way, you have the navigation the navigation buttons at the bottom. So you can go to the next page, LAER Cares, and it's going to take you there. And then if there is something that's important that you want to, whoop, hang on. Ah, cool. Look at this. They added new stuff, guys. All right. So if there's something that you want to emphasize, you can do it this way, like that. Um, that is neat. That's cool. You can change colors too. Awesome. Uh, oh yeah. And you can also make it thicker, right? Boom, boom, boom. Here we go. Oh, cool. Lots of things you can do, guys. Didn't know that. All right. That's all new. All right. So let's go back to, hang on. How do I do this? X this out. Let's go back to the main part here and, well, that's a weird thing, huh? All right. What happens to, nope. This has not happened to me before, guys, so I don't know how to get rid of this. Hang on. Nope. Huh, how strange. Um, Here we go. There we go. There's the garbage. Clear all my drawings. There we go. How odd was that, huh, guys? All right, so let's just get rid of that. So let's clear that. That's something new and changed. So let's go back to the PDF. So all these are PDFs that have been uploaded and everything. And then you can go here and you can come on. Navigation buttons at the bottom. So what is a CMA? It goes to the next page. Now let's take a look at the comps. So here, this part I like is really cool because this is really live. So remember, you have this on your tablet, and you're scrolling through and showing the seller this, and you can talk about the properties, and he may say, well, what about, and you can click on here, and you can see the listing information right there, right? And you can see the different photos, which is great. Um, And then the other thing is you can even make adjustments on the fly, right? You can say, well, you know what, we had wanted to make an adjustment on this one because it had 3 bathrooms, whatever. And so it was better than ours. So we're gonna, make an adjustment on the fly. And we'll say we're gonna subtract 15,000. Why not? Right? And now the hang on, boom, there we go. And now it's made the adjustment to 818, right? So this is something you can do on the fly. It's pretty cool, right? Now, while you're here, you go back to the comps, or you can go to the next property. So I click here, and it's going to take me to the next property that's in line, right? Which is cool. But at any time, I can click, hang on. This back arrow takes me to all the comps. And you can see there's a lot of information here. And then we can scroll through the comps this way, right? And at any time, we can click and we can see everything we want to know about a property right here. Pretty neat. And you can keep scrolling the photos. You can take a look at the next property or the next property and everything else. So, all right, let's go back here to the listings. Now we're back here on the main listing page and all the comps, right? And you can go back to what is a CMA, or you can go to average price per square foot, which is a neat graph right here. And again, you can say, oh, okay, so, price for square footage, but you click here and it's going to pull up the listing just like that. If you click on the listing, it changes to that listing. And that's pretty cool. So, and then like if you had chosen quite a few comps and everything, and the seller says, well, you know what? This 44 Plain Road is nothing like my house, right? You can say, all right, I'm not going to include that in the comp. You can turn it off, you can turn it on, either way. Pretty neat. So, You can also click here and you can see which dot it is, right? So average pricing. So next here is it's going to be graphs, the average for the sale price, the average for pending, average for active. It'll give you the what the averages are here. So, and next is time to sell. This is that one graph I showed you before where it has, this is the original price, this is the current price, or this was the original price, this is the sale price. And it shows you all this info. So online valuations. For some reason, this did not pick up anything from Zillow. I don't know why. Uh, Normally, this page is always optional, but it shows you, usually it shows you a comparison of what your CMA is showing, what the actual property sold for, compared to what Zillow said they were worth. And it's very useful in some markets because this number here can be, several tens of thousands off, 30, 40, $50,000 off by a high percentage mark. It's good to show, especially if the sellers are talking about Zillow, it's good to show that um, um, Zillow is not always accurate. So I don't know why it's nothing showing up on that one. That's weird. All right, and then we have just your other pages in here for extra stuff. And that's the, so this is the live version of your presentation. Now, over here, these three lines, the hamburger, you can click here and come down here and you can say customize. Now you can choose which pages, if you want a page to show or don't want it to show, you can click the eyeball and it opens or closes it, whether or not it's going to be shown. And you can also move stuff around too. So you can move stuff up like that and into a different order. And then when you're done, click on done. And there you are. So, all right. So that's the two outputs, the two presentations that you get with this Cloud CMA. The traditional way is with the PDF and into a booklet, and you can show the seller that way. So, and the other way is with the live version, and where you can load it on your tablet and go from there. So. All right, before we say goodbye, let me check and see if we have any questions. Here's a question. Does the live show all the pictures or just the 12 you chose? I don't know. Let's find out. Let's go back to my listings here. Let's close this, close here. Let's go down to comps. And I think the way to do it is, let's see. All right, so look at this. 66 Main Street has 33 photos. Oof. Let's take a look here. Whoop, where'd it go? Boom, here we go. Let's go to 66 Main Street and see how many photos show up here. Oh, 16 Main Street, sorry. Go 16 Main Street. And we'll just click through. I think it is showing all the photos. This is a lot more than just 12 for sure. Yep, yep. So I think it showed all, well, I didn't count, but let's see if it's telling me how many photos there really are with this one. All right, let's go back to the front then. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. Looks like all 33 photos. That was a good question. I never thought about that one. So that was from Christine, asking if the live show all photos or just the 12. It shows all of them now. Now we know. All right. If anybody else has any questions, let me know, or for whoever hold your peace. If you do have other questions, um, just email happyagent@lairrealty.com. We'll be glad to answer anything. So thanks for tuning in today, guys. I appreciate it. And I hope you all have a good afternoon. Let's see here. Where are we? Boom. And